Welcome to the 116th episode of the MC Knitting Adventures podcast. My name's Colleen.
And my name is May. Welcome, returning viewers. And for those of you watching us for the first time, we're so glad you could join us today. It's been a week or so, but we're glad to be back. We've missed all of you when we don't do this. On today's podcast, we're going to be talking about our road trip to Aurora, Newmarket. And we visited a lot of knitting stores when we were there. We had a lot of adventures on our knitting trip. And but before we begin all that, Colleen's going to talk about what we're wearing.
All right, let's talk about what we're wearing. Now, before I get started, I just want to show you something.
Oh, yes.
Remember I said I would find them? I found them. They were in the glove compartment of the car. I'd put them there safely.
How handy is this? This is from the Wool and Silk Company.
It is. And in the front of it, it's got different weights of yarns. It's got all kinds of little pieces of paper that you can rip out.
And a pen.
Brilliant. And a pen. Brilliant.
These are going to be so handy. I love practical gifts like that. It's really nice. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So thank you, the Wool and Silk Company.
All right. So I did find them. I felt
Colleen's
so good
just so proud of herself for finding them. Because generally she loses, well, we've lost keys, we've lost...
Okay, do you want to talk about the keys? Let's talk about the keys. Let's talk
Colleen
about them.
gave me, usually I drive, but the one day I didn't drive, Colleen drove, she gave me her keys, I threw them in my bag, and then for like 2 weeks Colleen was
I don't know where I put
where's
the keys.
those keys, where's those keys? She has looked everywhere. Everywhere. Finally, she says, May, would it be okay if I went into your bag? Because I'm like, they're not in my bag. Like, why would they be in my bag? And I said, well, it's fine. You can go through my bag if you like. So sure enough, Colleen went through my bag.
Voila! There were the keys. So we're not talking about Colleen losing keys ever again.
But thus, Colleen's proud of herself because she found these in the glove box.
Exactly. All I had to think to myself, because I'd looked everywhere for these keys, I thought, what was weird about life in the last week? And I thought, I drove that one day.
That was weird.
That was weird. And so I thought, okay, it's got to be there. Yeah. And there they were.
Well,
so
there you go.
At least we have the keys. And we're happy.
Usually you're looking around for a pattern. Where's that pattern?
Well, this is part of the reason why I wanted to bring up things. What I used to do was I used to have like a little shelf with pull drawers in it that I put all the ball bands in. But then when you need the right one, you can't find it. So then I've started putting them inside the pattern sleeve. So I put them in a plastic sleeve and put them in there, which is great. But I didn't do that at the beginning. So what we're wearing they're fairly old. We still like them, but they're fairly old. So do I have ball bands? No.
You can't find them.
No, it's not that I even looked for them. I thought,
okay.
They're not where I thought I could go, but it's up a stair, and I thought, okay. But I know what yours is, the yarn, and so it's good. So what May is wearing, back on track, here we go. She is wearing the Agent 99 cowl by Dawn Maurer, and I've knit a number of these. It's a lovely pattern. And what I did was I had balls of yarn that were called shawl in a ball. So if you use the whole ball up, you could make a shawl. But if you just wanted to use a little bit of it, then I could do that. So it was probably 3 or 4 years ago, I made up a number of those cowls for Christmas presents. So I could take one ball of yarn and make 3 or 4 cowls out of it.
You could say shawl in a soccer ball or shawl in a golf ball. Well, this would be like the golf ball. Or is that just a bit of a stretch?
That was a stretch. But we'll go with it if it makes you happy.
Okay, that's where my mind goes.
Okay. That's all right. Now, as far as what I'm wearing, I know what it is. So it is a Koigu scarf, and it's by May Landry of Koigu Wool Designs. And I believe that it's just 1 50-gram ball or skein of Koigu yarn. So it's lovely. You just tie it in a knot at the back, and it's really nice and light. I mean, we've kind of had a bit of a warm spell in Ontario for the last couple of days. Well, it's supposed to cool down over the next few days. Now, can you buy
the only thing that would make this much better if it didn't tie at the back. For me anyway.
Right.
You're okay with the tie at the back.
I don't mind the tie. But what I do for May is I put this flap here, and then I just sew it together. And you just can pull it over your head.
I like that.
That's what makes her happy.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I am wearing. And next we're going to talk about finished objects. My first finished object is actually 3 finished objects, and as you know, we're doing some knitting for a booth, and this is Destiny Meyer's Basic Pom Pom Beanie. So even if you're not putting pom-poms on these hats, they're brilliant hats, and I love them. So I've used 2 different kinds of yarns, so let's talk about first of all. So the first kind of yarn I've used is Bernat Softy Chunky. And so I've got a gray marl, and there's the pom-pom on. Now, technically, it doesn't have the tag on it. I'm going to have to sit and do a sewing tag party all by myself. I'll have to do that. So that's the first one.
And does it have the button? Yes,
it has the button. So that's what holds a big pom-pom nice and steady. It is good.
Nice.
I do like the big pom-pom.
Yes.
And there is another one.
Nice.
And that's also with Bernat Softy Chunky. So you saw the hat before, now it's got pom-pom on.
I love the color.
I know, that is a beautiful
And this
too.
one's already tagged, which is really cool.
It is. So it doesn't have to be in the tagging pile.
Love the color. And you make them a little longer, so like you said, you can roll them up.
Roll them up.
For a little
Exactly,
bit.
and then they can last a little longer.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Great job.
Thank you. And then I found this yarn. So this is Charisma by Loops and Thread. Not that I didn't know what Charisma was, but this is called, this one's called Sprout Multi because it's that little green, but this is a blue one. And so this is the infant's hat, so probably 6 to 12 months, I think.
And it
So
has
it's
a
a little
button in
smaller.
there too?
It has a button in there as well.
There you go.
It just holds the pom-pom. So what I've decided, because for our first show, I was counting stitches because it's the difference between 36 stitches and 40 stitches. That's all. So I'm going to make little pom-poms for the little hats and bigger pom-poms for the bigger hats.
Good idea.
So that is good. And this is so soft.
It's
I
lovely.
really do love that Charisma. So that's first of all. Then I finished my Whippy Wash Mitt, and you really liked this.
I love it.
And we are making a black tie soap, which is just about the same.
Yes.
Just about the
That'd be
same.
nice.
Mhm.
There you go.
So I finished that up, and I used, that's KF Jones pack. There it is. This is a great Christmas present, by the way, if you're a knitter, because you can just do that. You could get a bar of soap. You get something else to go with it. It'd be nice. And I'm using the Estelle Suds.
And I wish you could buy our soap, but we don't ship.
No, we don't ship.
Yeah, because we'd love to sell it to you. But,
I know, shipping in Canada, a little
yeah.
interesting.
We'll
That's
work
for
on
sure.
that.
We will. I think we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my next finished object is something called the Newfie Mittens, and they're by Nadine Reeves. So there's the pattern. That's it. 1-page pattern. And these mittens, I just started making some.
They knit up pretty quick.
They
because
do.
I see you knitting these, and then all of a sudden you're finished.
I know. So I used 2 things. I used Lion Brand's Heartland, and then I used Red Heart Soft for the black.
Now, in the pattern, was it the length of this? Like, did you change anything about the pattern?
I did not. That is
Because
exactly what the pattern
a great
is.
pattern, because they go right up your arm.
I know.
Usually mittens only come to here on me. This is feels so good. The
And
snow's
the
not gonna go there.
interesting thing is, we were debating, what am I going to do? Because I'm trying to make some for our sons. And I thought, is that going to fit? But it has such stretch and spring. So you can pull this up and it goes, whoops. And maybe that didn't work. But
Yeah.
it does. It's got lots of length in it.
Yep.
And so they turned out really nice. I was trying to make it look a little camouflagey for that one. I'm not sure it does.
Trying to make it look kind of masculine if you can.
Right.
Because I was saying to Colleen, I don't know if boys wear mitts.
Well,
I don't know.
if you're taking the dog for a walk, maybe mittens are the way to go.
Yeah, maybe. Because mittens keep your hands warmer actually than gloves, I
They
find.
do. And
But,
have you ever
you know.
tried to knit gloves?
No.
I have. It's not fun. Well,
Okay,
because
stick with the mitts.
yeah, because you know when you get second sock syndrome?
5-10 finger syndrome.
Exactly. So happy with how those came out. And I'm just going to try and get some done. So that will be good. And what else do I have done in my world? Okay, I have something called the Chronos. So if you hold that up, May, I'm just going to grab something. I'm back. And so this is the Chronos. Now this technically needs to be blocked. And you would think when something's so little how does it possibly have to be blocked?
How do you possibly block something that way?
Well, the trick is that I-cord. And I think when I made it before, I had 3 stitches. This is just 2 stitches. So
That's beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
love that.
Now, it is a Laura Nelkin pattern. It uses 5/2 mercerized cotton, which this is. But I don't have the ring that she used. So mine was a little smaller. So I had to do it differently with the beads, but I was able, instead of doing 4 rounds, just to do 3, and was able to
That works
work
really
it out.
well. Whatever those rings are, they're working great.
I know. Very
Beautiful.
happy with that.
I'm happy
So
with
just
it too.
working at, some booths we're going to try and sell some
Jewelry.
some we're going to sell hats, mittens or Christmas presents, and any other finished objects. Just a second. It's all over here. One more.
Oh.
And that is one of these lovely towels.
Now you have a tutorial out there on how to do these towels.
I do.
And a couple of people have mentioned about the camera view, and it was maybe when we first started doing it.
I think so.
But we're going to do another one where the camera view is from behind you. I think we did it from I think we assumed everybody knew how to crochet.
Right.
I think that was what
Right.
we
I think
were
you're
thinking.
right. Yeah.
It wasn't like crochet, tutorial. It was
Right.
more like, I'm a crocheter, how do I do this?
Right.
So I think that was why the camera angle, and I'm making excuses here.
It's
So
okay.
we're going to do another one where the camera angle is behind Colleen,
Right.
and that might be a little bit better tutorial for some people.
Mm-hmm.
And see how you do these, because you do a great job on
Thank
these.
you.
And you sell them, they sell really well at our
They
booth.
do. And we had one person say that they haven't
Seen them around. And
Oh.
I like that you use the cotton here and it's not stretchy, and
That's
you know,
right.
we have them in the house, we use them all the time, and they wash up so nice.
They do, and I'm really happy
Yeah,
with that.
and the thing is, we get some really nice tea towels when we're out and about, and on our trips, we're kind of looking around to see what will work.
Exactly.
They're kind of cute.
Lots of fun.
We get some with dogs on them too. They're
I
cute.
know. Actually, there's little poop on there too. I don't know if everybody
Just
knows
say it.
that. I said, I'll give this one to my son, because anyway, and I thought, well, see if he notices, but he hasn't said anything yet. So I think he just thinks it's a towel
think
for his
so,
hands. So it really doesn't have poop on it. It's a picture of poop. I just realized what I said. I thought, that's probably not a good thing. Oh dear, some days.
Yes.
So those are my finished objects. And May, how about you with finished objects?
I have had some finished objects. As you'll see from our adventure, we went on this adventure and I got a picture of a cardinal. It's not the best picture of a cardinal, but they don't stay still for very long.
No, they do not.
And it was kind of a spontaneous thing, but I did manage to kind of capture it a little bit. And it inspired me to do to make a cardinal.
Okay.
So I went on there you go, for a Christmas ornament for the booth.
Those are brilliant.
So what it is, it's a scroll saw cut.
You did a
cut out
great
wing,
job.
painted them up, and then they can go on people's tree.
Oh,
so there you
those
go.
are great.
Yes. So that'll be a nice little, gift. Because cardinals are, when people pass away, they say if you see a cardinal, then that means that somebody's thinking about you.
Exactly.
And so it's kind of cool.
Very cool.
So that is a finished object. As you know, Colleen and I have been busy with the booth, and we, I feel bad that we keep saying that, but we've got products to get out. We're having to do booths. So the last show actually was up and down stairs, so we had to lug everything down a set of stairs.
That's right.
Into the gym, lug it up from the gym, lug it into the car, pack it up, unpack it, get organized when we get home, package it all up.
That's right.
So it was quite the thing of getting up. We both of us couldn't move the next day.
That's right.
But thank goodness we had those 2 wagons.
That's right. They were great.
Yes, thank goodness. So that being said, we've been trying to come up with some ideas because our chances of making soaps for the Christmas season is getting very slim, because
It is.
soap has to cure for about 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks.
And we're kind of getting there, and because our last show was in the beginning of December.
Right.
And so we're trying to catch up on that, but we've come up with a couple of ideas. One of them I have to give it to one of our customers that came, and she wanted us to make the hockey puck soap.
Right.
And we made the hockey puck soap that looks like a hockey puck.
Exactly. We've used some activated charcoal.
Activated charcoal. I think I showed you this on the last one. I'm busy trying to make labels for these, and but they certainly feel and look like a hockey puck.
They do.
And they smell lovely, and it would be a great soap bar. We talked about having a lump of coal for people.
Hopefully not me.
Naughty or nice.
That's
and
right.
that would be kind of a cool gift to have for people. So we made same soap scent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, smells lovely. And we're going to make that lump of coal for people that are naughty or nice, whatever they get a lump of coal.
That's right.
We've been busy making gnomes, as you've seen before. These little
That's
gnomes
right.
were one of our good sellers at one of our shows.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking forward to going to a couple of shows. We're going to a seniors home. There's about 150 seniors in this home, so we'll
Right.
probably take some soaps and some creams,
Mm-hmm.
maybe some little puppies and some gnomes.
That's right.
I'm not sure the hockey pucks would go well.
Maybe not.
Or the coal. We'll take that to the nursing home. We're also going to a women's conference at a hotel. There's quite a lot of women coming from all over to this
Oh,
conference.
okay, that's great.
So maybe Colleen's jewelry. I don't know what else would sell at a women's conference. If you have any ideas,
Just comment
let us
below.
know. So we've been busy preparing for those. So finished objects, yes, that's about it. Oh, there's one other thing I want to talk to you about since we're on the subject.
Does it have anything to do with keys?
No.
Nothing to do with keys.
We've been going around to garage sales and secondhand stores and that type of thing, and I've picked up a couple of old cutting boards and Lazy Susans. And because of my resin, I want to redo them. So I'm looking forward to having a tutorial on how to finish those. So they're
That's
technically
fantastic.
not finished objects, but I'm working on tutorials.
Right.
Also, one of our subscribers had suggested long time ago that I make buttons out of resin. And I've always wanted to do that, never found the time, but since I'm getting the resin out to do other things,
That's right.
I thought perfect timing to learn how to make a resin button.
Right.
Not my idea, it was somebody on YouTube, I'll get the name.
Mm-hmm.
And she's awesome, and I'm kind of learning from her.
Oh,
So
wow.
what I'll do is do a little tutorial on what I've learned to share with you on how to make resin buttons. Because they
That's
turned out
exciting.
really quite nice.
Ooh, this is
So-
very exciting.
Yes, so anyway, for knitters that might be a good thing. So that's what
right.
I've all been up to.
So next we're going to talk about works in progress. My first work in progress will look like a finished object, but it really needs to be blocked, so it's not. So I'm going to have you hold that up. So this is the Film by Laura Nelkin. Now, the pattern is a double wrap, and I put on the number of beads that I needed to, and I was using a lace weight yarn that's called Juniper Moon Farm Thinly Dappled, which is merino wool and mulberry silk. It's beautiful, by the way, but it's very fine. And I was busy working away, and I'm going, this is going to be too small, going to be too small. So I was going to rip the whole thing out. May, you had a great suggestion. She said, just rip it back so it can be a single wrap, and that's what it's going to
Yeah,
be.
this is going to be nice.
But it does need to be blocked because it needs to hold the width, and so I'm going to block it.
Very nice.
How is that
Love the
size
color.
for you?
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect size. I love the color.
Good
It's nice.
to know. So it's hard when you're making things for a booth because you think, what size? So I'm just going to do small, medium, large, just going to do exactly like the pattern says, and then there's not going to be second guessing that. That's my first work in progress. My next work in progress, you can't call it a hoe, but it's a half a mitten. So it is the Newfie Mitts again. And I am using for this one, I am using the same thing. So I'm using the Red Heart Soft. Let me just grab that one. So I'm using the Red Heart Soft, and then I happen to have some Mary Maxim Starlet. And the reason why I'm using acrylic is just because then people can just machine wash and dry.
I love the texture on this.
I know, it's really neat.
It's cool.
Oh.
Is it hard to knit?
You know what? It's not. Once you know the pattern, it's funny. It looks harder than it is, if that makes
Right.
any sense.
Wow, and they feel warm, like they would be warm.
Exactly.
Nice.
So it's great. And as I said, they seem to fit. I mean, your hands are
They fit
bigger
nice.
than mine, and they seem to fit
Maybe it's
both
one
of
size
us.
fits all.
It could be. It
Those
could
would be great when you go out and shovel this year.
Oh. Another job. Picture
When you
this
go
arm
shovel-
shoveling. Not
Shovel a
happening.
truck. Colleen and I don't shovel. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Because we pay somebody to come and plow out the driveway.
Yes, we do.
And the guy's amazing because he gets actually out of the truck,
Yeah.
and they actually shovel the sidewalk too, which
Yeah.
is
And up to the
amazing.
porch, yeah.
and we don't
exactly.
worry about it. So it's kind of nice.
It is. It is. And thank you for saying that because I'm not shuffling.
Me neither.
Okay. My next work in progress also looks like it's a finished object. And if I wasn't going to put a pom-pom on, it is a finished object. So that is the My Canada by KT Pomper, and that was the kit from Wool and Silk Company. Now I had to do a little adjustment because my head is not so big, but there it is.
That's nice.
And this has maple leaves on it. I decided to choose the neat pad. This thing about this good pattern is it's got all different things. You can put curling in it, you can put hockey sticks, you can put all kinds of things. So this is the pom-pom that came with the kit. So it's going to sit up there nice.
It just screams Canada, doesn't it?
It does.
It screams Canada.
It does. So it's almost there. I just went to put the pom-pom on. I thought, I don't have time right now. So anyway, my pom-pom, we'll wait until later. And then my last work in progress has been ripped out twice. But that's because it is something called a Mobius construction. If you've ever done it, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, it's not a bad thing to learn. So it gives your knitting half of a twist. Okay, so it is neat how it looks. You can take a look. So this is the Turnt by Laura Nelkin. Now the kit came with some silken mohair and then the Make It Tweed. And I think a number of you will have seen the Make It Tweed. It's all the things in stores right now.
It's kind
So
of cool.
so you knit it along with something else and it does make it look kind of tweedy. But I know how I am with mohair, and around my neck would not be good. So I thought, what else do I have? So I found this yarn. So the Make It Tweed is the one that May's got in her hand. There you go. And I had this scrumptious lace, and this is silk and merino. And it is super fine as well. And so you hold these together, kind of wrapped around. Now, this is going to look like I've twisted my knitting, and the answer is yes, I have. Because you're supposed to. And so it's going to be really neat because it's going to have kind of that tealy green in the background and then all these little tweedy bits. So I think that's going to be fun. But I wasn't thinking it was going to be fun earlier this afternoon because anyway, I thought I'm going to use bamboo needles because I like bamboo needles and then it won't be too slick. In this, you need it to be slick. So if you've ever wondered why are there so many kinds of needles, because sometimes you need things to be slick and sometimes you don't. And I needed this to be able to move, and now it's working really, really well.
Oh, good. I'm glad you figured it out because you usually don't get frustrated, and you were a little frustrated.
I said, May, not happy. Well, you have to hold 2 yarns. It started off with 150 stitches, which was tricky to count because there was a twist in the cable. It was just a thing.
Okay.
But
Well,
now
I'm
it's
glad you're
okay.
good. Glad you.
Once it got cast on, we're good
It's a
to
day's
go.
worth of work, though.
It was. So
Yes.
those are my works in progress. And May, how about you?
Lots of things going on, lots of things in progress. Like I mentioned before, my cutting boards that I got at the Goodwill, I'm refinishing them, sanding them down.
Right.
I'm sanding down my Lazy Susan. I've got that on the works. I'm making some resin jewelry. I don't know how that's going to work out. Lots of things on the go, lots of things in the works. The buttons, the resin buttons, I've got those on the go. What else do I have? Too many things on the go because I've got
That's
too
right.
many. We have frying pans.
Irons in the fire.
Yeah, I've got too many irons in the fire. I've got to kind of pare it in a little bit, but
Exactly.
we'll see how that goes.
All right.
So yes, lots of things, and so my head's like.
Oh dear, but we're getting a lot done, so that's good. So those are our works in progress, and next we're going to talk about our adventure.
Well, our adventure was part of our Prince Edward County adventure, and we took kind of a detour on the way back, which was amazing. We went to Aurora and Newmarket, and we visited a lot of yarn stores in that area, and we want to share that video with you. There's a few stories that happened that we'll share with you when we come back after we put the video in. So we'll put that video in now, and then we'll talk to you when we come back. Well, I don't know where we'd be without our GPS. This thing has gotten us through so many road trips. Here we are in Newmarket.
And it's at Unwind. And there's Karen. And she has owned the store for 4.5 years. and it's been there for 18 years.
What a lovely little community. And Karen was so lovely too, wasn't
She's
she?
really,
It was just
really
friendly. It just had a really nice atmosphere. You can talk all about this yarn, Colleen, because I
know.
have no idea. I just thought the colors were amazing.
They were beautiful, and she got it really well laid out. She's actually even got signs up that tells you, there's an example, you see sport weight and there's worsted, so if you have any questions about what kind of yarn, you'll know what place to be in.
I thought that thing was a potty, a porta potty. I thought, well, that works too. Then I realized it was a fan.
Oh, okay. There you go. It was a little warmer when we were there. That's right.
A great sample she had too, wasn't
Absolutely. And I fell in love. You can see it upper right corner. It's called, it's by Amy Christopher. It's called Pressed Petals. She had 2 of them, and I am trying to figure out what I have in my stash to do it because I absolutely love it. You took a closer picture of that, so that's good. So.
Cute little store though, isn't it? Like nice layout. It's cozy.
Exactly.
And
nice table to sit at. I know they do classes. There's the sock yarn. I'm always amazed at different stores and the different yarns that they carry. It's unbelievable.
Those are different kinds of socks, were they? Sock yarn?
Yes, absolutely. All kinds of things.
There you are in your happy place, of course.
I'm looking at cross stitch thinking, do I need cross stitch? Do I need cross stitch? And then it gets to a point, do I want cross stitch? Do I want cross stitch? Anyway, but there was so much to see. It was just, I find sometimes it's overwhelming, but it's so well laid out that it was, you could just take your time. Usually I do, how many laps do I do, May?
3 laps.
Yep, 3 laps of the store.
This display part is what I really liked. I liked looking at that. I thought it'd be nice for our soap to display our soap in.
Exactly.
These were cute, these little sweaters, weren't they?
I know. Once again, I'm back at the sock yarn. I'm debating.
That was colorful yarn though. I like that.
Exactly. I like when they've got it already separated so you can almost be sure to get the 2. There's the pressed petals.
Yes. Nice.
Beautiful. I think I've got yarn for it. I'm going to think about that one.
And there it is in blue.
And what she did, she reversed the colors at the bottom, so I really like it.
And this would be a child's sweater?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a different color, but I thought it worked.
It did.
Nice.
It's really, really pretty.
Really nice. And that I thought would be a really nice cowl. It looks simple.
Right.
I don't know if it is as a knitter, but it looked like an easy knit.
Look at those fancy socks. Wow. And?
How cute was that?
And there I am. Look at that, cross stitch in hand.
And now I think we're almost ready to go because there we go again on the GPS.
That's right. And we go to the hobby store. And why did we go?
We had to get some
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, we did. And then we had lunch. But we'll tell you a story about that store when we're all done. Then there was a nice hotel, and it was in Aurora.
Aurora, yep.
And it reminded me of the hotel that was in Collingwood. Fairly new, almost brand new. It was so brand new our GPS couldn't find it.
Right.
But just practical things in there, you know, a place to put your luggage, place to hang your hooks, which is awesome.
That's right.
They had a gym. Of course, we didn't use the gym. They had a pool, and
we didn't use the pool.
We went to Chuck's, and no, this thing did not want to go to bathing suit. But the breakfast was good. Free breakfast.
Nice free breakfast.
Oh, there we are on the road again.
And this is Needles and Knits, and that is actually in Aurora. Now we were a little bit early, what a surprise, and so we took a little walk into this park that's just down the road.
And I found a cardinal, which inspired me to do all kinds of cardinal things. I just love it. But it's a little blurry, but it's the best I could get because it was on the move.
So this is Needles and Knits, and we met with Tove, so she's the owner.
Just before we go, that sweater there, I think it was 47 years old.
Oh my goodness. So this was a lovely store. And we had a good time looking around. That, if you look at the right, that's how she has the knitting needles set up. So it's a little bit different because it's very
unique.
Unique, that's for sure.
Interesting. Now that I think that quilting behind her, I think a friend of hers did that.
There you go. And they have lots of lovely samples. But her view is that she wants her the things that she knits to get
generation after generation. She wants it to last and last.
And so she knit that dress for her granddaughter.
I can't imagine having a 47-year-old sweater. Of course, if you looked in my closet, I bet you there's some 47-year-old articles in there.
So I had a good time looking around in here. And there were some different yarns. It's always interesting for me to see. But it's beautiful.
And we have a story to tell about this store when we're all done also.
Exactly.
Because a lot of this would be newer stock.
Exactly.
And we can talk about, make sure you ask us about that next time when we come off, and we'll tell you that story.
Right.
But really neat story, really interesting couple. Her husband came down at the beginning. He has his office upstairs. They've been there for years, and she was late getting there, and he kind of let us in, let us wander around. She was lovely.
Yeah, I had a nice chat with him.
Should be able to go to the next generation.
Right. And I like this. Yeah. So then we're on the move again. And we are heading to
Newmarket again.
One of our favorite stores, of course.
So this is Serenity Knits in Newmarket, and there's Sheila.
And we love Sheila to death. She's awesome. And her store, as I was looking at her store, I thought there's something about her store that's just, it looks like somebody works really hard in there. And everything is placed specifically. You know, there's nothing really out of place, but it's very, you know, I don't know, full of inventory, comforting,
and
orderly.
Great samples. And what they do is, for a number of these samples, is they actually have a class. So that if they're going to do something that's Fair Isle, which you'll see in a little bit, then they'll have a class on Fair Isle knitting. If they're going to do a sweater, then a class, then they'll have a sample sweater. So it's really, really nicely set up that way. And this hat I fell in love with, the one in the middle there.
That's lovely, that hat.
So the nice thing is, it is Fair Isle, but you only have 2 different balls of yarn to worry about. So I see one in my future, that's for sure.
Now, she was doing some sweaters and stuff that she had, that maybe for a class that was coming up.
Exactly.
But nice. And there's that knitting machine that we often see in knitting stores.
That's
but you see how orderly things are? Like, I don't know, it just seems really...
Is this how you want the basement to be?
Yes. See that dream?
Yeah.
Dream knit. I dream of a lovely basement.
Yeah,
but you know what? You can't really put it out like that at the basement.
No.
Because moths and different things.
Exactly.
I didn't notice that thing behind it. It says
that
Canada.
blanket, I know, it's beautiful. And I had knit May a Hudson Bay blanket, and it's based on Sheila had created one, and Estelle picked that up from her. There it is, sitting right there.
Yeah.
And so based on there.
Yeah. So anyway, that was great. Well, I hope I gave you an idea of what our trip was like. It was amazing. The one little thing that sticks out to me is when we went to that hobby store. We were there and we pulled right up to the front. As you can see, it was kind of like a plaza, and the door was right there. So we pulled up to a prime parking spot for this.
It was a great parking spot.
It was a great parking spot. The man that owned the store was at the front holding the door open. He kind of gave us the evil eye of, why are you taking a prime parking spot in my area? But he didn't say anything.
No.
We got out of the car, we walked in, and he goes, oh, you're coming into my store? And we were like, yes, because it would be a store that normally 2 people of our vintage wouldn't usually go in.
No.
It's a Dungeons and Dragons kind of games, and I was looking for a figurine of Dungeons and Dragons to see what scale I would need to make for my friend. And so anyway, it was quite funny. It was very funny because I think he was shocked that these 2 old ladies were going into his store.
Exactly.
But that was a funny experience. Yeah. And then the lady that had the yarn store, the Norwegian lady, Tove, her
Needles and Knits is that store.
Yes, lovely little. They've been there for years.
Exactly.
Years
I think
and years
1994, she said.
Now they don't live in that home because they both came in. Her husband's office is there, and they both came in from wherever they live.
Right.
But there's been arson there twice. It's been burnt twice.
Exactly.
And when we were there, they were actually doing renovations.
That's right. So the first time, she was saying that I think it was 97% of their stock ended up, because you can imagine the smell of smoke in yarn. It just had to go. So they were busy restocking. They just had another incident, but it had been at the back, and so it wasn't where the yarn was so much. But
really nice lady.
She was a sweetheart. So she's from Norway. She said every Norwegian lady knits. And you saw in the video, there's beautiful sweaters and
like she said in the video, they knit things that will last generations upon generations. So really good quality.
Exactly. So they just pick yarns and patterns that will continue on.
Yeah. Very nice, very cool. So it was a great, fun trip. It seems like forever ago.
Exactly.
But it probably wasn't. And we squeezed a lot in a short period of time, but it was great to visit everybody on that trip. And we had a wonderful time.
Yeah. So Unwind Yarn House we'd never been to. That was the one with Karen, and you saw the pictures of that. Loved that store. Great great samples. Like I always find that even though there's 2 stores, like there's that one and then there's Serenity Knits in Newmarket, 2 yarn stores, very different samples, what they choose to do. So it's neat to meet Karen, and she was lovely and helped us out there. And then when we went back, because we had been to Serenity Knits, and we went back and we saw Sheila and had a lovely chat with her. It was nice because we had never met Karen before, but we had seen Sheila before COVID. So we have been talking to store owners about COVID and how they survived, and
Yeah, so it's nice to support them, and it'd be nice if you
Exactly.
were to support them, because a lot of them will do online too. So
Exactly.
it has been a tough go with COVID. I think kind of set people back a little bit,
That's
but
right.
we're starting to get back on track, which is good.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's our adventure, and next we're going to talk about souvenirs. My first souvenir is from Unwind, and it is not knitting related, but it is cross stitch, and I absolutely love this. So this is called 3 Pines, and you get patterns, instructions, aid of fabric, thread and needle, and the embroidery hoop as well. I might like to put that on a project bag though. After having done that one with Kay Jones, that might be really nice on a project bag. So I'm really excited. You can see that I haven't opened it.
The only thing is, it's kind of Christmassy. You'd only be able to use it at Christmas. Okay, we can talk about it later.
Well, they're pine trees, and pine trees are around a lot. You know me.
Nobody's going to say anything. They're not going to say, you have a project bag that's got Christmas trees on it. Or,
Yes.
Well, they're not really Christmas trees.
No,
I
they're
wouldn't
not.
think
There's no snow,
Okay.
and there's no
Camping.
Christmas balls.
Maybe we'll call it camping.
I could put a little tent in the corner. That's what I could do. So that was my first souvenir. I'm very excited to get started. I kind of leave things until we talk about them, and then we do that. Then when we saw Tove at Needles and Knits in Aurora, I was looking at her sock yarn, and I saw this yarn. So this is Opal. It's Vincent Van Gogh. And this is the Starry, Starry Night. Now, I said to May, one of my sons, I'm pretty sure it was the oldest one, did a project on this. And I thought, I'm not 100% sure. So I'm going to send a little, so I said, I was wondering if, trying to be subtle, but how do you be subtle about that? And so my son got back to me and said, well, I'm pretty sure I had to do something about Van Gogh. Why are you asking? And I thought, I didn't want him to ask why I was asking, because it's birthday socks, and I'm planning on doing those for his birthday socks next year. So I'm really liking this yarn. So it's very, very nice. That's the
It'll
plan.
be interesting how that knits up.
Exactly.
It looks like Van Gogh. Maybe it's the colors just.
It is just the colors,
Colors,
but
yeah.
I don't think they can redesign that pattern.
Yeah.
Then my last souvenir is the yarn to make that hat that we saw at Serenity Knits. So this is the contrast. You can see it does all this. It'll change colors. It'll do all that thing. My job is to go into my stash and find a skein of black yarn. Do you think I can do that? Yes, I think I can do that. And so this is the Wool Addicts by Laying Yarns, and it's called Footprints. And so that's what I'm going to do. And then I get to make another hat.
If you
It'll
get
be
much
fun.
more stash, we're not going to call that going down to your stash. We're going to call it going down to your store.
Well,
We're going to call it going down to your huge department store.
well, okay. Okay.
But I'm talking to knitters out there, so I
Yes.
don't know.
Stash.
You guys are all siding with Colleen. I know. I get it.
You know, you never know what ball of yarn you're going to need.
Yes.
But I was feeling so good. I had my stash all organized. I'd written it in a book. And then I went to be making something. And I thought, I've got 2 balls of this yarn. I know for sure. I looked in the book. It's there. I go into the thing. It's not there. I'm going, what? And then I realized that I used it. So I am in the process of tidying up my stash and organizing, I guess reorganizing it again. And I'm going to do that again. I just have to make sure when I've used something up, I cross it out. Otherwise,
Right.
I am searching for it, and it's already knit up in a bin somewhere.
And I shouldn't talk. I'm just as guilty of buying things that are not yarn related. Like
That's
the
true.
other day, I bought a planer from the neighbor for wood planer. Now it's hugely heavy.
Yes.
I can't even pick it up.
But it's
But
a good
there.
tool.
It's a good tool when I use it, and I needed it the other day, but it was too heavy for me to pick up.
Well, you
So
can
I-
ask me. I'll help you.
I'll have to ask you to help me when
Okay,
I'm
I
ready
can
for
do
the
that.
planer. And I buy wood, and I buy glue. Like, I have a thing about glue. Like
And
if you-
boxes.
Glue and boxes, but
That's
Colleen's
right.
very good about giving me boxes.
That's
Anyway,
right.
so you both have our things.
Yes, we
and
do.
I'm sure you have a thing out there, too, that you like to buy.
I know.
And I almost forgot, when you were talking about that Hudson's Bay and that one yarn store, that
Serenity Knits with
Serenity
Sheila
Knits.
Griffith. Yep.
Here is your version of that blanket. It's turned out really nice. I love it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, that's great. So thank you for that. And I guess
How
other
about you, souvenirs?
souvenirs, like I said, I do have souvenirs. They're just not things that I can bring. Like, I couldn't bring down my planer. I couldn't.
She didn't bring her planer down.
I couldn't.
We
bring
could
my-
take you up to the planer.
I can't bring my wood and my glue out
No.
here. So not with your yarn. It kind of just doesn't work.
No.
Anyway, and we also got these little bags, which will be great for
Exactly.
our soap. We bought the two types of little bags. One is for the lump of coal, which I thought would be good. Either this bag, which is for soap.
Right. Absolutely.
You can hang it up and it will drain your
Right.
soap, which is
Yeah.
a good idea.
Yeah.
So either this bag, or I thought this bag was kind of cute.
That's
Couldn't
kinda
decide.
cute.
And this will be for your lump of coal. I kind of like this one. It looks Christmassy.
I think it's a lump of coal.
And it's a lump of coal, and I'll make a really nice little tag on here
Great idea.
that says naughty or nice.
Right.
And there's your lump of coal.
I think that's a
So,
great idea.
Yes. So you'll be expecting one of these in your bag, will you?
Well, maybe. You never know.
Anyway, so yeah, there has been souvenirs. Colleen bought me some resin too, and those kinds of things. So it's not like I'm not purchasing things. It seems like sometimes,
No.
but
And for me, it's always, like, I might as well buy you things that you want. So when I'm saying, would you like this for Christmas? Would you like this for Christmas? Would you like this for Christmas?
yes.
So you're having lots of Christmas right now.
I am. It's fun. It's great. Thank you. So that's my souvenirs, Colleen.
Excellent. So thanks so much for watching. If you like what you're seeing, give us a thumbs up, comment down below. Let us know if there's any tutorials you'd like to see. We are going to redo that one of the crocheted tea towel. Hopefully get that done so that if you want to make something for somebody for Christmas, then hopefully you can use that. But we really do enjoy doing this for you. And subscribe because it helps our channel. Now, May subscribers. I think I looked earlier today. We're at 1,472, I think.
Well, we need to do a giveaway. Absolutely. I think before Christmas giveaway.
Okay. All right.
For somebody for Christmas. and-
Yeah, we were aiming for 1,500. But we'll keep going. We'll just keep,
Right.
see how close we get, and then
Okay.
maybe something before Christmas.
Even if we
would
don't
bring-
get that much, we will still do a giveaway because I think we're overdue.
I think we are overdue.
Okay, because we want to give back.
Yes, we do. So, until next time,